Dawson's Rambles.
Hey YouTube, Dawson Ryder here with some Power Rangers movie reboot universe news, thanks to Jinsaku on Twitter, who apparently brought us some previous rumors. So let's discuss it. Obviously, that's why we're here. As always, at the beginning of these rumor videos, I want to stress that as of this recording, this is only a rumor. So, try not to fly off the handle about anything. We're just discussing a rumor for fun. And typing in all caps, "This will never happen," will not stop it. It's not how the Force works. If you remember, we got we know we're getting a reboot movie universe / TV universe. It's going to be on Netflix. We got confirmed information that they're doing an exclusive deal with Netflix. And there was lots of rumors for a long time since this was announced that the plot was going to involve time travel and multiverse. And a script leaked semi-recently, apparently a script that was scrapped. It involved time travel and multiverse and had some cool ideas, but it was a bit of a hot mess. And it's been a little while since we've heard some news. There was also a rumor we may get a JoJo adaptation between Dino Fury and this as they sort of work on it. I'm not sure how that true will be, but that's where we were where we last left. Now, because I wanted to lay that down because these recent rumors kind of answer an evolution of that. So, the movie, it's happening, and it's apparently going to be in 2023 on Netflix only, meaning not in theaters. I'll give my thoughts on all of this after I list them all off, but movie, Netflix only, 2023. Then a TV show that's going to be movie-like, meaning in terms of the quality, like the way the show looks. It's not going to look like Power Rangers is on TV now. It's going to look like a professional look, kind of like Netflix originals, Mandalorian, Marvel shows. I'm not saying it's going to have the production values of like a legit Marvel Disney show, but I'm just saying it's going to be that type of style. That's what I'm inferring. There's allegedly a new complete script. I don't know if it's a first draft or the final, but there's a new script that no longer has any time travel or multiverse, just straight up reboot, clean slate. It's going to be filming in Vancouver, which is a pretty popular area to film. They are doing casting for A-list actors, not open casting, so that's a pretty big deal. We haven't cast actual actors since the Disney era. And they may have cast somebody already from a show called Ginny and Georgia on Netflix, which I have no idea what that is, but that's a show. And then also just kind of reconfirmation of something that's been rumored and speculated a while is that Dino Fury will be the last traditional show. And in the most technical terms possible, the tweet says the tone will be hella mature. I don't know what that means. I'll speculate on it, obviously, but yeah, that's what we have. As per usual, I feel like I'm going to be at odds with most of fandom's consensus, and that most of this sounds good to me. I'm not like, oh, Hasbro, yeah, they can do no wrong, but I don't know if have faith is the right word, but I have confidence that they're going to be trying their hardest, mainly because Hasbro just bought the brand, guys. I know it seems like it's been a while. It's been technically 4 years almost between 2 seasons of Beast Morphers and 2 seasons of Dino Fury. But they really haven't made their own stamp on it. Outside of stuff like the toy line, we haven't really gotten Hasbro's first take. And they spent so much money on this franchise, regardless of how it turns out. I'm confident they're going to try to deliver the best product possible, to try to make returns on their purchase, and actually make their own stamp on it before anything, because we haven't even really seen it. It'd be a different story if it had been 4 years of their own version and it wasn't working, but we've still just been doing Neo Saban leftovers, so I'm confident they're going to be trying their best. And I do have apprehensions about it. I have apprehensions and worries just like everyone else, but I'm not going to be calling up Into the Power Rangers Parts 1 and 2 every time something happens. In regards to the Netflix stuff, I've said for a long time, I personally think the Netflix stuff is a smart move. I definitely have a little bit mixed feelings about the Netflix movie being only a Netflix movie, but at the same time, it seems like a smart move for right now. I can see how that could worry some people, but if we look on the positive side, I mean, right now, the in-person movies climate is very strange. Movies are coming back a little bit, but a lot of the ones getting big returns are like Spider-Man, and that's Spider-Man. It just makes sense. And so, in general, even without the world situation being different than it is now, in like a normal time, the Power Rangers movie that we last had didn't do so well. So it makes sense because Netflix is such a safer bet. Even without pandemic times, the old Power Rangers movie didn't do so well. So I feel like with current weird times, it's going to be an even bigger uphill battle. So I think doing a Netflix movie is a safer bet for multiple reasons, one of which you don't have to worry about, box office failure, headlines about box office failure. And I think with a Netflix movie, you have a good chance of like word of mouth, meaning if it's good, there is a lot of Netflix subscribers. I know Netflix isn't quite what it used to be, but it's still a huge install base. And you have that to go off of, and you'll get people that are going to maybe watch the movie that wouldn't have gone to see it in theaters. I know that during these last couple years, there's been movies made available on streaming easier on a service I had or came out earlier or whatever that I was either not that interested in seeing or I was interested in seeing, but I didn't want to go to a theater for it because I wasn't that excited, that I wound up watching and liking. And I feel that that is a possibility with this, is that somebody could stumble upon this on Netflix and be like, oh, I'm interested in PR, but they wouldn't go to see it in theaters, but maybe they'll watch it on Netflix and it could get good word of mouth and be a success. And things like that have happened on Netflix before. I'm not saying it's a for sure thing, but I think given the times right now, combined with how the last movie was handled, that's the smartest move. I'm a bit curious about how the TV shows are going to work. I know they said there's going to be multiple TV shows. For me, right now, it sounds like we're going to be getting the movie and then maybe a TV show inspired on that and then branch out into the other ones later. Like maybe we'll get like a cartoon or something, or like a Rescue Bots type show for the little kids. I don't know. But the only thing I'm curious about is if this movie and show are tied together, which they are going to be. They're apparently all going to be interconnected in some way. But I'm just curious, like, if you do the movie, is going to be the same cast? And at which point are we just going to get little movies every now and then? Like, okay, here's the movie debuting, everyone. Here's seasons 1 through 3, and then we're going to do another movie. I'm kind of curious how that's all going to work. I don't know, but I'm excited by it because I'm excited by the clean slate. Speaking of the clean slate in regards to the reboot stuff, another concern people have is, in regards to a clean slate, is wiping away the old universe, not to mention no more Sentai. You guys know my policy on no more Sentai. Assuming this means no more Sentai, I'm all on board for that. I'm done. I'm glad we could be separating from Sentai in regards to adaptions. If the Zyuohger rumor ends up being true in some way, shape, or form, I won't be mad, but I'd be more than happy just to get straight to this. But I've talked about that endlessly, that I'm okay with stopping Sentai adaptions. But in regards to wiping away the old universe, I understand people's concerns about that. I think just in regards in trying to get this movie off the ground, if this is true, I think it was absolutely the right move to remove this time travel and multiverse stuff. Like when I did that video about the leaked script, it had some cool ideas that I really liked, but they were more like cool ideas for like a comic or an animated movie or something that's going to be made for more of the hardcore fan base. Not like in a we deserve it way, but like it was just too complicated to gain a wider audience. And that's their goal with this, is they need to capture a wider audience than just the tiny fandom. And all those ideas, while they sounded cool, was something that you're not going to gain a new audience with because you're going to confuse them. And it's something that if you wanted to do that with a new audience, you got to wait and do like in-game. Like, you do in the tough stuff they're doing now in Phase 4. You do the complicated stuff after you've hooked your audience. But you're not going to hook your audience by confusing the F out of them. So I think, setting aside any feelings about the wiping away the universe or whatever, I think that was a smart move just in terms of getting a new franchise off the ground. I think that's something people need to think about. I think too often the fandom wants Hasbro, in regards to this reboot, to only focus on the fandom, and they forget how tiny the fandom is, and they need to broaden their horizons. And I think with this reboot, if it's done well, like I mentioned with the word of mouth, you can get those casuals that, I know a lot of people don't like the casuals, but that watched PR when they were a kid, and they noticed like, oh, they did a Power Rangers reboot, let's check out this movie, because I have Netflix, and they watch it like, oh, that's really cool. Gain a bigger audience of fans that grew up with it, or aware of it, and now have this new version, and finally get to see like a version of, this was cool when I was little, but now there's an even cooler version now. Which is not what you get with the current show. With the current show, you get, oh, it's the same. So I think that's kind of a smart move in regards to the clean slate. As far as wiping away the old universe, wipe them out. All of them. Just kidding. For me, as long as the comic continues, I'm okay. I love the Power Rangers universe. Like, its weird, shared universe is what makes it special to me and what makes me like it more than Rider and Sentai. But I'm more than okay with us doing a new version because I've just been waiting so long for a clean slate with how stagnant the brand has been. And as so long as the comic exists within that same multiverse, I'm more than happy. I know the comic isn't the exact same universe as the show, but it's the same general mythology and it's the same multiverse. So long as that continues to exist alongside this new universe, that will fill that void for me of the PR universe. Not to mention, and this is thinking way far ahead, but when you have a multiverse, that doesn't mean all of a sudden this stuff's all fake, fan fiction, non-canon. We can use that later. If this universe is successful, maybe in 3 years they do a crossover event, or in the comic, or in the show, or both. So I don't think that they'll wipe it away from all time, especially how much MMPR nostalgia there always is. I could totally see them doing a cross later on if they get this off the ground. So I would just kind of focus on the here and now and not worry too much about it. It's not like that's going to be gone forever. I'm sure there's still going to be toys and stuff too, but for me, so long as the comic is out, I'm happy. Now, last thing is in regards to the maturity level. I don't know what hella mature means. I've seen people speculating that means PG-13. I don't know. I think that's certainly possible that it's going to kind of try to appeal to more a teenage, young adult, broad appeal audience, especially with rumors of them being multiple shows, because then they might have shows that appeal more to the current target audience and younger. I don't know how you would get younger than the current target audience, but you know what I mean. But I think it would be ideal for the main show to be as broadly appealing as possible. That's something I've talked about with a lot of my Neo Saban discussions, is that I just don't understand. Like, I understand the target audience is kids, but I don't understand why they only want this tiny group. Like, why not try to appeal to kids of all ages? Like, in my opinion, roughly from In Space to RPM, yes, there were some ebbs and flows and changes in direction, but it reached the perfect maturity level for a kids show, where it appealed to the very young kids they're targeting for the audience now, but also could appeal to older kids and preteens. And it was this thing, kind of like even the MCU. I mean, it's not really a comparison, but that's something, 4-year-olds are watching it, but 40-year-olds are watching it. And that's a totally different situation, but I just never understood why they didn't want to make more money by broadly appealing. I think with the multiple shows, that could be something different here. But in regards to the main show, I wanted to see it be more mature, but not in a, oh, it's dark and greedy Game of Thrones, or mature in a way that Sentai fans think Sentai is mature. But I just want it to be mature in the sense that it doesn't talk down to its audience, like it's a 3-year-old that was born without a brain. I want it to just be more broadly appealing. I think that would be a smart thing, to make it appealing to more ages. It kind of just opened things up a little bit more, but we'll have to see. But overall, guys, for me, this is encouraging news. Again, like everybody else, I do have my concerns and worries about it, but I'm really excited for this. I've been longing for a fresh start for a while. I'm eager to get more news about it, but I'm hoping for the best, But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments as always. Until next time, don't forget, like, comment, subscribe, and climb the steps and ring that bell so you can get notifications for my videos. Dawson Ryder, signing out.